I think the biggest thing is obviously to come in here and have to do this again, for the fourth Saturday in a row. Obviously that's really difficult, for everybody in our organization, not just myself. Knowing that there's a bunch of kids in those locker rooms, they're trying to give us what we ask them, and the fact that we're now able to put them in a position to get a result, and it's brutal. It's a brutal deal and it's hard, but there's only one way out, and that's to come back to work. And keep doing everything we can as a coaching staff, as a football team, from strength conditioning to training. Every aspect of our program, we've got to improve and find a way to get better. And so, my heart more than anything else hurts for those kids in that locker room. We've got to find a way to get better.
Even when things got away from you, obviously, but you score a touchdown at the end. Cooper makes the big hit, the sidelines into it. Did you take that as sort of a positive that the kids aren't,
Well, I think, and I know where you're going. That was really, that's what halftime was about for us. Halftime for us was really about making sure that we do and act, what we say we're going to do. And that's relentlessly positive. That's being supportive of our teammates. Never being out of the fight. Making sure that we play every play, as hard as we can possibly play it, and there are moments and times where I feel like we do that, and again, I think that's just, general overall, program development, that's somewhere where we have to improve, especially, in the face of not getting some of the results that we want. We've got to make sure, that everything around our program, we're doing everything we can, we're coaching every detail as positive as we can, showing kids the why, and making sure those guys stay invested, because at the end of the day, that's what this game's about. This game's about the 18 and 21-year-olds. It's not about us, and so we've got to ensure that those kids are still confident, still playing hard, and still trying to improve on a daily basis.
I'm sure there will be a lot more you can say once you watch the film tomorrow, but just sort of a general sense of what you feel like kind of wasn't working for you guys defensively in that first half.
There were probably 10, 12 instances where being on the sideline, and again, I've got to, see the tape, but just kind of the overall feeling that I got is, just off the top, I thought as well as they ran the ball early in the football game, we wore down a little bit. Today we were short a few bodies, and then, kind of lost one or two more guys there along the way on the interior. And so I thought they started to wear on us a little bit. I thought number two, I thought their team did a much better job of executing on the perimeter offensively than our defense did, in terms of getting off blocks, staying blocked. They did a great job offensively, and credit to those guys at Coastal, of winning on the perimeter, staying on the edges of guys. And again, that's somewhere where we have to, for as long as football's been around, the game's been about blocking and tackling. You can either block or get off blocks, you can tackle or you can't tackle. And I thought they did a better job of those things, especially early in the game, than we did.
Sort of a two-part. Is Frito okay? I don't think we saw him.
Yeah, he was still on the sideline in the locker room. He seemed to be in decent spirits. And so have not got, and again, I literally just got done with our kids in the locker room. I haven't been updated from a medical standpoint of the extent of the injury, as to say. Yeah, he took a pretty good shot, and our Miss Jen and our training staff, they'll do a great job ensuring that whenever he's ready and everything's safe, that he'll have a chance to return to play.
How do you think he handled himself under center today?
There's again, with the young player, some really goods, and then probably some choices he'd like to have back. You can't help tip balls. There's some of the things that probably look really bad, but some of the things that aren't avoidable. But again, like I told Josh a second ago, we've got to get back and watch the tape and really study kind of from the decision-making standpoint, kind of where he was at today.
How can you speak to the play of Randall West coming in?
Yeah, Randall came in and did a great job, and Randall also had a really good week of practice, and that's a credit to him. The thing about Randall is just great kid. He's been a little bit beat up, playing through some things, and so really proud of the way he came in and played and picked his teammates up and came in and did a nice job.
What you talked about going on the offensive line? I know Dalton was center for most of the game, and it looks like you pulled. I guess I'll start with this. What happened with Ray that he came out for the second half in street play?
Yeah, and Ray's an unbelievably tough kid, and obviously, in the Charlotte game, Ray got beat up a little bit, and Ray did everything he could, man. He tried to give it a go at practice on Tuesday, fought through on Wednesday, as a coaching staff. Obviously, winning and losing is important, but our kids and their health is much more important, and just, didn't feel like, based on Wednesday's practice that he was going to be able to represent himself in the way that he wanted to represent himself, and, just kind of decision that we made as a group was just in his best interest, not put him in danger. So
and then Dalton, that's
with Jalen, same thing. Jalen tried to fight through, and Jalen Larry's an unbelievable kid, man. He tries to give you everything he possibly can every single day, and again he just wasn't healthy enough to go today.
What kind of effect does it have on the offense to kind of switch between these two quarterbacks back and forth over the course of 4 games?
I mean, that's not the plan. Hopefully somebody goes and wins the job and takes the job and keeps the job. But today you can't, couldn't really help it. When a kid gets, and again, not to jump ahead and say things, out of context or something that I really don't know yet. But what would seem to be a head injury there or a concussion. That's an unfortunate part of our game, and we lost Andrew there, and Randall had to go in, and he did a nice job.
Seems like tempo and just getting to the line, getting set really quickly, trying to keep the defense up balance seems to be a big part of your offensive game plan. But at the same time, it seems like you're losing time of possession battle. So how's a way you trying to balance?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, that's something that we have been doing. We're not playing very fast right now. And some of that is by design and holding calls. We probably snapped 15, 20 balls today on the underside of the 10 count, to help those guys, going into the game knowing that, Billy Wooden's out, and then we lost Wilson Frederick there as well, knowing how thin we are up front. We were purposefully trying to kind of hold some calls and slow things down, and only really using tempo when we thought it could benefit us, whether it's, formation of the boundary, whatever it may be. But, we've been trying to, eat as much clock as we can. And again, I think the third down number, we were 4-13 at one point. I don't know what we finished. That's the number more than anything else that's keeping us off the field. And again, with a young group, that's a place, third downs, especially offensively, third downs get first downs and first downs get touchdowns, and so we've got to really improve on third down, to help keep, our defense off the field.
Isaiah is able to get 3 long returns into their territory. You guys can only score 1 touchdown off that. How disappointing was it for you not to convert some of that?
And again, there's, I'll start with the good part about that first is what a good job Coach Pascal's done with special teams, getting our kids to buy in, and we've played really good teams, over the last 4 weeks. When I say teams, I mean special teams. And so credit to our guys on special teams. They're doing a really nice job, but on the disappointing end of that is, when you have, drives that are starting, minus 40 or better, those got to turn into points. And when you're not able to finish there, especially, with how good they are on offense, you've got to, finish those drives. You got to finish with a kicker or score, and for us to go backwards a few times, disappointing.
What's Rogers' leadership like when he can keep making plays like that?
Well, Isaiah has done a really nice job for us. He really has. Especially since we've been here, he's done a really nice job. Whatever we ask him to do, he's begging to go in there at the end of the game on teams. He's begging to go in there and return kicks, and trying to stay in there on defense. He made a great effort play to chase a guy down from behind to make him snap it one more time. And so he's done a really nice job for us, and especially as a senior, with where we are, with our record right now being on 4, just to see him continuing to fight and represent himself well, and really try to help move this program forward, that's a big testament to him.
Seems like you're running back by committee. Are you just trying to feed the hot hand, or are you trying to evenly split carries?
I think the biggest thing for us, knowing that we've got to, I've been places where you would travel 5 running backs and you would try to play 3 or 4 every game. You know, and that's for a few reasons. You know, number one, to keep those guys healthy. You know, running back is kind of the last unprotected position on the football field. You know, and so some of it is, you know, to keep those guys healthy. Some of it is to make sure that in case something happens to one or two, that three is prepared. You know, and so we've always tried to play a bunch of guys. You know, and Bilal and Cam are doing a really nice job. I think the thing I'm more proud of than anything else is just them securing the football. You know, knock on wood. You know, we've been 4 games and haven't really had very many issues there. So, credit Coach Knight and those guys. But we're just trying to keep those guys healthy, keep them fresh, keep them moving, keep them involved and invested, and they've done a really nice job.
Last question, guys. It seemed like you practiced that fake punt a decent amount more this week than you have in previous weeks. Was this an opportunity you saw on film of potentially being able to run that?
Yeah, they're a big middle return team, and basically what that means is you're going to catch them in man-to-man, and you know, just with what they did, you know, on their punt return team, you knew there was only going to be one left on an edge. If they chased in motion, that we would kind of have what we wanted, and you know, Coach Pascal again did a really nice job. Something that we had practiced. You know, we've always got 3 or 4 fakes. Kind of a menu of fakes, you know, some for middle return, some for safe defense, some for max block, you know, and you just kind of keep a menu ready. And today, kind of with knowing that they were a really, really, really heavy middle return team, you know, today was kind of the opportunity that we were going to have, and got lucky enough to get the ball up there in decent field position where you knew they would still be in, you know, punt return as opposed to safe, and just, you know, kids did a nice job executing.
Who makes that final call? Is that something that you or Luke make from the sideline, or is it on one of your players to say, all right, we're doing this?
Yeah, well, the call on the field, you know, I mean, they're going on the field knowing that a fake's coming. Now, we have the ability, you know, to keep the fake on or off depending on what we see, and so got the look we wanted and let it roll.
I guess we'll start with the kick returns there. What was working so well for you guys on kick returns today?
We just preached all week just to get on our man, and just put faith in the guy back there, which was me, you know. So I was just speaking to the guys, and before we go out there, just tell them just do your job, focus on the details, and everyone did their job.
What's going through your mind as you kind of see that hole open up for you on kick return?
Well, it was bigger than I expected. So coach was just telling me, like, don't think too much, just hit the hole and just go, and just trust your speed. So I was just doing that.
It definitely seemed like the blocks were really opening up. So that's something you guys practice a lot in practice.
Yeah, we focused on that a lot. You know, after watching film from last game, we just find like little minor things that we needed to fix, and we just worked on it, and we executed today.
You were a little slow to get up after one of the hits you took. Explain what happened on that play.
It was like a high-low. I got hit in the ribs and hit in the ankle at the same time, but I'm all good, you know. It's football. It's just got in the way and knocked out me. I'm all good, though.
Randall, you led the team to 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter there after scoring Trell. What started working on those 2 drives?
We just went back to our base football plays, just the day one stuff, focused on the details, and everybody doing their job. So I think that's what Coach Mirando and Coach Bell emphasized, and we just went out there, tried to perform at the level that's expected of us.
Randall, as an offense, when you see it down there as was able to get you guys that good field position, how disappointing is it when you can't convert that good field position into actual points?
It's frustrating. When you get field position like that, and that's really when you have to capitalize in Division I football. When you have 60 yards, 50 yards to go to score, you have to get points. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, obviously we'd rather have 6, 7 points on the board than 3 points. But when the defense makes good plays and when the return game makes good plays and sets us up in good positions, we need to be able to lock in, focus on the details, and put points on the board.
Isaiah, what was Coastal able to do to you guys on the perimeter to kind of open up some of the running holes that they were able to exploit?
They're a good team. You know, they had a great game plan, and we watched film on them with their options. You know, we just had minor details, you know, errors out there. So we'll just go in the film room and execute.
Randall, how hard is it to come into a game, kind of you stand there the whole time, and then you come in cold, you come right in, you look pretty good?
I think it's difficult, but I think I've learned from the past. There's been moments that I had to come in where I wasn't necessarily ready and I didn't do as well. I think Mississippi State a couple years ago, I had a rough time in the fourth quarter. So really looking back on that, I really tried to each week, if it's not going to be me, to be just as prepared and prepared like it's going to be me. So I think Coach Bell and Coach Mirando put a lot of faith in me each week during practice. And when I went out there, the calls didn't change, and they put the ball in my hand to distribute the ball to guys who make plays. And it's my job to be a point guard and get everybody the football and let everybody make plays and run and do good things with the ball.
As Coach Bell was in here talking about sort of staying positive and really kind of keeping the morale high despite all this. How difficult is it, I guess, during a game when the score kind of starts to slip away for you to kind of stay positive and kind of stay in that type of mindset?
I just think that's just the message here from Coach D to Coach Pascal and Bell. That's all we teach, is just keeping our heads up, just playing hard and playing very smart. You know, when we come out the field, you know, got players just tapping you on the head and just like, come on, keep your head up. I've seen a few players actually pull someone to the side and tell them to pick their head up. So we just feel we're changing the culture around here, and that's what we want.
Is it difficult as a senior to kind of go through a year like this, you know, where a lot of talk is we're going to change the culture for the future, and you know, you're not going to necessarily be here for that future when the culture changes in theory?
I don't think it's difficult. You know, that's what I'm here for. You know, I my whole corner room is young, so I just want to make sure they get like the lessons they need and know the things I didn't know when I was young. And I feel very positive about it. We still have 8 games left, you know, so I feel pretty positive.
What's it like seeing Cooper Garcia lay a guy out even in a game where the score wasn't close, but the sideline got pretty fired up for that?
It's great.
I've never seen it before.
It's what we need. The coaching staff always talks about bringing life, bringing energy. Don't be an energy vampire. And the more guys that we can get that are like that, the more this program will succeed in the future, right? Next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. The more guys that get involved in this program in a positive way will affect this program in the right way and move this thing in a positive upward direction.